So I'm here with my good friend Ranjit, who's a seasoned Bay Area techie and investor. Loves cars. We are in his beautiful Porsche 986. We share a lot of common passions. One thing that I've learned a lot from Ranjit is real estate in Bay Area specifically. He's been investing here for over 3 decades now. 2.5 decades. So that's a long time, a lot of experience, a lot of hands-on experience, not only home ownership but also being a landlord here in California. And he's very gracious with his sharing of knowledge. The way Ranjit and myself we hang out is just, one of us will call each other on a given day, and he brings out one of his 13 cars.
I think I've cut down to 11 or 12.
11 or 12 cars, one of them, and we go out for a drive in the Bay Area looking at properties, analyzing which deal might be a good deal, what is not a good deal, what are things to look out for. And it's a great to have someone to bounce your ideas. Today we're going to just drive around, probably look at some properties, enjoy this fantastic piece of machinery, and have a great day.
Always like hanging around with Shobik. We've done a lot of stuff together. Looking forward to enjoying a lovely day. In addition to having a nice machine, important to know is to enjoy these machines, you also need nice weather. If we were sitting in Dallas, Texas, we wouldn't be enjoying. This roof would be up and the AC would be on. But today we are in San Francisco Bay Area. It's 70 degrees. Nothing can be better.
We've had long conversations about real estate in the Bay Area and why this is such a fantastic place. And just love to hear your thoughts on that. People who are looking to invest, either a first-time home buyer or people in other parts of the country.
So the first thing is that we live in a place where land is limited. On one side you have the Pacific Ocean. In between that and the San Francisco Bay Area is a small piece of land known as the Peninsula, running from San Francisco down to San Jose. And on the other side, you have Berkeley and then running down to San Jose. On either side, you have hills which are protected. The other thing is a highly educated population base, which has been here for some time now. The tech industry has been going since about the 1960s. Starting really, the founding company was HP, and then moving on to different semiconductor companies, including Intel, and of course now Google, Facebook, Apple, and others. So you have a highly educated population, a limited amount of land, and great weather and great education institutions such as Stanford and Berkeley. Now, what more can you want? This has been a place where people come with hope for something better. Tech provides that now. We've seen the semiconductor boom, we've seen software, we've seen cloud, we've seen mobile, and we're just about on the cusp of a new wave called the AI boom, which will be software defined. There may be many folks thinking that AI is going to take away jobs. AI is going to innovate and new jobs. Lower level tasks will be obviously impacted by AI on the negative side, but there will be so many other tasks that come in to utilize AI that it will dwarf what is lost, and we as humans will move to doing higher order of work. And this is the center where all of that is happening. In fact, right now we are just about passing Apple headquarters, and very soon we'll be on the fork. If you go down there, the next fork you will be at Google headquarters in 10 minutes. So, what a great place. There are 8 billion people on Earth. There are probably 5 million people in the Bay Area, maybe 5 to 8 million. I'm really thankful to have had a chance to spend the last 25 or so years here.
This is Sandal Road.
The place where you talked about the venture capital. This is the headquarters of venture capital. The funds that founded Google started here. The funds that founded Intel started here. The funds that founded Sun Microsystems here. Facebook, now Meta, here. Netflix, right here.
We have Sequoia's headquarters right there. Pretty much anybody who's in the venture capital space, private equity space, they have their offices on Sandal Road, which is right adjacent to Stanford University. a huge amount of the credit for the creation of Silicon Valley goes to Stanford University. It is because of the people who attended and the minds that it nourished went on to create the companies and the businesses and the ecosystem which today is known as Silicon Valley.
Another interesting thing about the Bay Area is the rapid weather change and temperature change in driving 45 to 50 miles from San Jose to San Francisco. A summer day in San Jose may be 95 degrees. Less than 1 hour, you will be at 65 degrees in San Francisco. So almost 1 degree per mile. So we are now in Mid-Peninsula, past Palo Alto, past Menlo Park. In 10 minutes or so, we'll be coming up on the exit to the San Francisco International Airport. In the distance to my left, you'll see fog. Those are not rain clouds, that's fog. Very common in the Bay Area is to have fog rolling over these hills. It's cold. The Pacific Ocean is cold, and inside here is warm. I talked earlier about the many microclimates. They roll over these hills here to my left. You can see in the distance the runways. That's the SFO approach. So if you fly from Asia, you will land on those runways.
The average home price is 3 million here?
3.5. Maybe average 4-bedroom is 3 million. Yeah. Going into sport mode now.
We know what that means. That's why we do these kind of things.
Dude, there's supposed to be some good Malaysian restaurant somewhere here. We should stop there and have lunch.
So what do you think is the profile of the kind of people who live here in South San Francisco?
South San Francisco is a lot of old-time settlers. For example, I come from a community in India called the Goan community. A lot of Goans, when they first came to the Bay Area, lived in South San Francisco and Daly City because it was proximate to the employment center in San Francisco, but more cost-effective to live here. So this is Daly City. You see what's known as the zero lot line houses, little houses touching each other. You often see these houses in San Francisco as well. Over there to my left, you see Coit Tower, a famous San Francisco point and a tourist bus stop.
I'm from Hong Kong.
I'm from Hong Kong.
Really?
My new friend.
From Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's your name?
Dominic.
Dominic, I'm Ranjit. Nice to meet you.
Ranjit, nice to meet you.
My family lived 26 years in Hong Kong. 26 years, 1970.
Yeah, Hong Kong side or?
Pick your one near Aberdeen, not far.
Aberdeen,
you know
okay.
where's Ocean Park?
I know.
Very close. So you're from Ipoh or KL? Or Sabah? SABA?
Yeah, SABAH.
Ah, that's the Sabah. You're from there? Oh, so I went there to Kota Kinabalu. I climb up the rainforest. You don't eat egg, right? Okay, so we we're going to get roti prata. I'm going to introduce you to Belacan Kangkung, very very Malay thing.
What is it?
Belacan Kangkung, it's a green veggie.
To go, your order already? Give me 1 more minute, okay? Because beautiful girl. Here, I forgot you.
Oh, beautiful. So welcome to Ipoh Garden, folks, in the city of Millbrae, California. We are sitting 2 miles from the 747 and A380 touchdown on runway 34 in San Francisco. Here we have some satays. There's one beef and one chicken. This is the famous satay peanut sauce and some onions. Here we have Belacan Kangkong, specially made for my friend Suvik, who is taking this film, so that it doesn't have shrimp paste. So if you're veg, you can ask for that. And here we have a delicious green curry, often found in Thai cooking, but also in Malaysian cooking. So we're looking forward to tasting that. And here we have roti prata, also called roti canai, with some nice spicy curry sauce. Again, often eaten in Malaysia on the streets. Roti prata. The way you eat this is you just... Okay. Oh yeah. That is... It's too big, like... Oh yeah. You can see the people coming back here.
That is, I
In Chinese culture, you use chopstick. Now you don't go in like this. Now somebody else going to take that. The normal and polite way, reverse your chopstick to this side.
Is it?
Oh wow, it's fresh. Oh wow, he's made this especially for you, by the way. It's not. He's altered this recipe so you can also share it. Number one, test number one. This is very authentic. This is the correct size. US, everybody try to make big, not tasty. This is the correct size. What I have on the street in KL.
Oh,
All right.
this is amazing. So I'm sure people want to know about, your life in Hong Kong and, what happened there.
So I'm Indian. I was born in Bombay, now more commonly known as Mumbai, and I moved to Hong Kong in 1976. In 1976, my family moved to Hong Kong, and I did all my schooling in Hong Kong. I didn't know what a privilege it was actually to be there. I thought it's a normal place. We all live there, but now that I've seen other places, having moved from Hong Kong to the US and landing up in Iowa in the US, I can assure you that Hong Kong is a great place. First of all, the food is amazing. Culture is amazing. So many a melting pot of different cultures. I was there during the British time, which is even better. Some of the best years in Hong Kong. Studied O levels, A levels, those kind of things. Really an amazing ecosystem built there, both in business. We have friends from all over the world as a result of that, and it's a place that I would recommend anyone visit. And don't just go on the tour group, the bus group. To go out and spend some time on the outlying islands. Go to Potoi Island. Go to Chung Chau Island. Take a walk around. Yeah, eat some great seafood sitting on a small plastic chair. This is Hong Kong. This is the real Hong Kong. Not the tourist Hong Kong. Tourist Hong Kong you can find, and you don't need me to help you with that.
I hear there's like a great second-hand luxury watch market there. Is that true?
There's a huge watch market. Many people, in Hong Kong we have small houses. Most people are living in a house of 800 square feet or less. I would say 95% of Hong Kong is living in 800 square feet or less. Watches are an easy investment, doesn't take a large amount of space to store, unlike a car.
Right. That's an interesting thing.
So people have invested in watches and they understand watches, and people wear good clothes and real watches. You'll never find Hong Kong people wearing the fake watches. It's a big watch resale market. And the great thing about Hong Kong is we don't pay any sales tax.
Really? Even now?
Even now. There is no such thing as sales tax. By the way, there is no such thing as capital gains tax on your stocks, on your house. Hong Kong government, no tax on that. Great place from many points of view. And I have to tell you, the food is wonderful.
we had a wonderful lunch, Malaysian restaurant. Great find by Ranjit. So thanks for that lovely lunch. And so we are here at the Bay Shore Park.
Yes.
And we can see the planes landing. This is the bay right here, and this is all protected land. So the purpose of this video is not only to show you how beautiful and scenic this place is, but also to kind of educate a viewer who's not from the Bay Area about the lay of the land here. And if someone is looking to invest, where he or she might want to invest and why. I always look at San Francisco as a V, where the tip of my finger here is San Francisco, and you go down is the mid-peninsula. At the base of the V is San Jose, and then all the way at the other end is Oakland.
So let's start, as Suvik said, with the V. The top left side of the V is San Francisco. San Francisco is a city, much like Shanghai, Mumbai, characterized by large buildings, expensive real estate, and a lot of tech jobs, especially startups. One larger company there is, of course, Salesforce.com. You may be able to see in the distance the Salesforce Tower when we get around. Suvik will show you that. So San Francisco is the oldest part of the Bay Area, right? The settlers first came there for the gold rush at that time. And you have, it's characterized by tall skyscrapers and buildings. And on the other side of that is a city called Sausalito. Sausalito is a very nice, small, it has a feeling of a little bit of a European bay, very laid back place, expensive real estate. People who live there for the lifestyle, proximity to San Francisco, and great weather. Also, if you like boating, Sausalito is a great place to live. San Francisco is, of course, a lot of young people, a lot of action happening in the cities, parties, clubs, great food, great restaurants, and access to the Pacific Ocean. And if you like sailing, another great place. As you come down...
Chinatown.
Yes, if you like Chinatown, great. Yeah, another great place. In San Francisco, some of the top attractions, of course, are Coit Tower, the curviest road, which many of you may have seen on TV or may have visited. You also have a lot of beautiful homes on the hills, many different neighborhoods. Some of the well-known ones are places like Russian Hill, right? Pacific Heights, etc. So there are lots of little nooks and crannies in San Francisco, and there's always something for everyone. You then from San Francisco move a little bit down. We had actually been earlier today to a place called Daly City. Daly City is a great place to live in if you want the proximity to San Francisco, but don't want the cost of living in the city. It's a great little nook, sometimes a little bit cloudier weather. After Daly City, you come down, further down to where the SFO airport is. You're now about 20 minutes south of the city by car. That's where we are right now. And this is in a city called Millbrae. Millbrae is beautiful, as you can see from the hills on the other side. Now you're having a look at that. Beautiful homes with views of the airport and the bay. Millbrae is not cheap, but not one of the most expensive places. After that, you come to Redwood Shores, Redwood City, which is another stop. This is the home of Oracle Corporation. A great place if you like living right on the bay, as well as proximate to both the Palo Alto Mountain View region as well as San Francisco. So you're sort of 20 minutes from either one on the weekend.
And the plus point is that you have the Caltrain to take you right to the city or down to San Jose.
Precisely. We are now coming up to the Marriott Hotel.
So we are driving back south after a fantastic day out, and so I wanted to talk to Ranjit about what he thinks of San Francisco's real estate, the city, not the Bay Area. The Bay Area has its, we've spoken a lot about the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, all its merits. But the jewel was always San Francisco, the city. And the city has its own charm and beauty. But there are a lot of things that are wrong with the current socio-economic situation in the city. We have this crime, homelessness, big box stores and brands that are leaving the city and moving elsewhere. So I wanted to hear Ranjit's thoughts on how he sees this playing forward, because some people look at it as a dying city and some people see the huge opportunity. Ranjit, what do you think about something of that?
San Francisco, first of all, is a great place to live. It's a fun city that has in recent years taken, especially during the last administration, a little bit of a backseat to some of the increased levels in crime, some of the increased levels in homelessness, and so on and so forth. It is not the only city in the US that suffers from that, or for that matter, the world. The homelessness has been somewhat imported as well from some of the other states who have actually shipped people to California, and specifically San Francisco. And the city is now beginning to start addressing that. You can argue that it's a bit late, and that argument can be made, and that may be true or may not be. But the city is starting to address that. My long-term view about San Francisco is very bullish. And the reason that I think it's bullish is, again, lots of educated people, lots of young educated people, great climate, great educational institutions, all in region, and really many things to do. Because if you think about San Francisco, you're a 1 hour flight from LA and the whole SoCal scene. You hop, skip and a jump and drive up to Tahoe for skiing, and you've got great coastline if you want to surf or just enjoy the ocean within a few minutes driving. And then, of course, if you're a wine connoisseur, like many people here, you have Napa and Sonoma, and really many other places other than Napa and Sonoma that you can just go and enjoy great wine tasting and sit down with the winters and chat and so on. All along the hills from San Francisco to San Jose, you have things like that. It's a great Pinot Noir growing region down in Cupertino, above the hills of Cupertino, which is, of course, well known as the headquarters of Apple. But coming back to San Francisco City, I believe that the long-term outlook for San Francisco is good. I think the short-term outlook is bumpy, and that, I think, represents some opportunity. There are a large number of properties controlled by the East Asian community. We have already 8th generation Japanese, 7th generation Chinese here, and buildings are being rented out, and the landlords have been in place for a long time. New buildings are being built, high rises are being built, or have been built. Some of those buildings, and this is what Suvik was referring to, have been impacted in terms of the sale of the units because of some of the crime. And to me, that presents an opportunity. The real risk is not so much is the city going to be cleared out, but how much will the HOA, for example, be, right? So you're talking about $1,000 to $1,200 for HOA for one of these high rises. Great doorman and a lot of other things there, great facilities, but that's still real money. That would be a mortgage in Des Moines, Iowa, but this is not Des Moines, Iowa, right?
So I have two scenarios for you. The first is, if you had $1.5 million to invest in a property, would you invest in the city, or would you invest in the South Bay? And the second scenario is, if you had more than $5 million to invest in real estate, would you invest in the city or would you invest somewhere else in the Bay? And the question is, what do you think about residential versus commercial real estate in the city?
Let's tackle the 1.5 versus 5 million in the residential plane.
Yes.
First of all, I'm going to assume the buyer, let's take the first scenario, that you cannot get a loan in the United States because you're not a citizen or a permanent resident, in which case you're a cash buyer. If you're a cash buyer, you'll be looking at appreciation as well as cash flows. I would tend to look at Mid-Peninsula as well as certain areas of San Francisco where, or property types as well as areas that can maybe have 2 units attached on the property versus 1. Not necessarily, if it's in the case of 1.5 million, be tying it up with a huge monthly homeowners association, such as a $1,500 outgoing to pay a doorman, an elevator, a lift, all those things, fancy swimming pool, right? And so we just went to Daly City today. What a great place to drop 1.5 million on a townhome, which can easily be rented out, which can also provide a place for, let's say someone had a student coming here. The student could stay in one of the rooms. 2 of the other rooms could be rented out to friends and family, maybe from your own home country, who also may be happening to come here. So that kind of an investment could be quite interesting if you do it a little bit south of San Francisco.
So what I hear you saying is that you'd much rather invest 1.5 million cash in Daly City than, say, a Mountain View. I find that
if I come further south to Mountain View, I would, first of all, 1.5 million in Mountain View is Mountain View is a city that is home to Google. Yeah, you're looking at a very small place, and you will not cash flow that property. So as long as you you put it down and you secure the property fully, and you don't have to borrow any money to close out that deal, you're fine on that kind of property to rent it out. I would tend to look at trying to at least get a townhouse, which would be very challenging in Mountain View at that price.
Right.
You probably need a small $100,000 fixer fund in addition to that. Definitely. If you want to get into a townhouse. A condo may be more in line with 1.5 million, somewhere there.
Getting back to the city, because I want to hear about your opinion about the city. So, $5 million.
Yeah, so now $5 million, I would probably split it into 3 buys in San Francisco. 2 $2 million buys, which would give you a high-rise place, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe 2.5 on the 2 million, and 1 million. I would break it up into 3 parcels to maximize my cash flow.
Not a single
versus
unit.
versus one large unit, which is also going to be much more expensive to unload, because the number of people who would be buying a $5 million unit will be far less than the number of people buying a $2 million unit. Let's say you buy a $5 million unit, you need to clear 5.5 just to break even. After you pay costs, realtor fees, other things, it's not going to be much of a profit. So you're really looking at appreciation, that 5 to turn into 6, 7, 8. Which could be, which is definitely possible, but the number of buyers, the number of people who can do that is far less, and that's why I would break that into 3. But I would have no problem putting that money, all 3 in the city, or maybe 1 just outside and 2 in the city, or maybe we haven't covered Berkeley. We haven't talked about that side of the hill. Berkeley is an extremely strong institution. And that is there is not many BART stops away from San Francisco.
Huge housing shortage.
Yes, there is a big housing shortage there. For many of you, your children might have been accepted to Berkeley but not received housing approval, and there's a reason for that. There's a huge housing shortage there. Berkeley, Oakland, these places also represent some opportunity.
You have the crime
You have the crime again, exactly. So you want to go into the hills. So You want to go into the Palomares Hills, you want to go into the Oakland Hills, beautiful view properties. I have a friend who, I'll give you a real example, a friend who sold a house down in zip code 95124, which is south of San Jose. And it was a small 3-bedroom, 1.5 or 2-bathroom house. He took the money from that house and he put it into a house in the Oakland Hills and got a 2,600 square foot home up in the hills with beautiful sweeping views of the bay.
City,
yes, now you're looking at 1,300 square foot house with no view and a 2,600 square foot house with a great view. Now appreciation may be slower than the South Bay. The appreciation, if you're looking for straight appreciation possibilities, the epicenter for appreciation is Cupertino, Sunnyvale, and south of there. Palo Alto, Mountain View have a higher price, so while they appreciate, the appreciation rate may not be as much.
What about commercial real estate versus residential real estate in San Francisco?
So, commercial.
I pose this question because so many brands are moving out of San Francisco, and there's so much availability, so much inventory. So, what do you make of that?
So, when you talk of commercial real estate, you need to break it into several segments. You need to break it into Grade A office. Grade A office is, for example, where Salesforce is. That's an example of a Grade A office building. Then you have Grade B and further down. You also have small office and you also have warehouse and small business. My preference would be, what I would like to buy is, in San Francisco, is warehouse space, parking space. Those are all commercial, right? A parking garage, a warehouse,
Way more
something.
parking garage.
Yes, something like that, right? Versus mint condition office space, 5,000 square feet and above, those kind of things. I would prefer to go for, the sort of small and medium business operator, especially with the current political environment. These types of businesses are being shown preferential treatment right now.
Yes, but are those businesses which are still existing right now cash flowing at this current entry point? Is where
So there are examples of businesses that are doing cash flowing, and there are examples of businesses which are failing.
Okay.
There are a number of businesses in the US that ever since COVID happened, what we did here is we injected a lot of money into the economy. So we essentially put these businesses on inefficient steroids. We provided them ways to exist which they would never have otherwise had. Those people, now those steroids are gone, are finding it much harder to exist. Of a business that I would like to own the land under which that operation is ongoing. If you remember back to McDonald's, what is McDonald's, right? McDonald's is a real estate company. You need to own the land on which the burger is made. In a business that is either high scale and moderate margin, or high margin and moderate or high volume. I don't want to be in a business where renting in a business or owning a warehouse space or owning retail space to that. I would, in general, avoid standard retail because retail is being threatened every day. We all know one company, very well known, Amazon. We don't want to be in the business of competing with that machinery.
All right, there's lots to discuss, and I think we have covered many aspects about real estate in San Francisco and in the Mid and South Peninsula. There are many other topics that we love to discuss, especially the other businesses, like something we both like, laundromats. We both love car washes. So that's something we're going to take up in a different video, but this is a great place for us to start. Having said that, if you've been with us on our day out to the end of this video, thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe and keep watching the channel. Bye for now.
Bye for now.